This video was sponsored by Surfshark VPN. 46, 47 mainframes in 1 minute. I beat my record. Nice. Oh hey, Zane the computer guy here. If you're anything like me, you don't like the idea of websites spying on you, tracking everything you do, even though you are only engaged in strictly legal activities, for the record. You want to stop them from selling off your data and compromising your security. In that case, you should check out Surfshark VPN. It helps you remain anonymous by encrypting all of your activity, preventing companies from selling off your data. Your move, the man. And as if that isn't enough, it can also let you get around region locks so you can enjoy streaming shows that aren't available where you live. This is especially useful if you do a lot of traveling. Your move, the Netflix man. Take it from me, I'm like one of those super smart computery guys. Just look how fast I type. If you want to do legal stuff on your computer, or your phone, I know how you kids like your phones. I mean, us kids like our phones. Point is, whatever you want to do, Surfshark VPN lets you do it safely. So head to surfshark.deal/Arlo and enter the promo code Arlo to get 84% off your subscription and a special holiday deal of 4 whole months completely free. Okay, I'm going for another record. 1 mainframe, 2 mainframes. Don't see it. Hello, my wonderful friends, and welcome to another edition of the Nintendo News Roundup. I'm so glad you're here today. You are wonderful and excellent, and I don't tell you enough. I love you. Oh, you're just so good. You're so good, and I love you. Don't forget it. I got a lot of news items. Some weeks are just like that, so I gotta dive right on into it here. Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity just released, and it seems that a few days before launch, the game leaked in its entirety online, as seems to be customary at this point. Just seems to be just the part of a, a big Nintendo launch, is the game leaking a couple days early. It seems some people are getting the games early, and then data miners are ripping into them and pretty much just spewing out everything there possibly is out onto the internet. Starting to make me wonder if there's like some kind of connections somewhere. I mean, like, I get that some people get it early, but then like you're not gonna find that many people who are willing to rip into it like that, just data mine the whole entire thing. So I don't know if they're like organizing, I don't know what, but it did. So I don't know, watch out for spoilers, I guess. I know I am wary of spoilers. In some regions with multiple languages, it seems that Age of Calamity boxes have multiple logos on the front. In different languages. I'm not the sort of person who gets upset about physical. I know some people want their physical stuff to look nice. I don't really care that much, but even I'll admit that's really tacky looking. It does not look great. They're just kind of all on there, so that's a bit of a bummer. Also, speaking of Age of Calamity, it seems that a number of Twitch streamers have received temporary 48-hour bans for streaming Age of Calamity. Nobody's exactly sure why this is happening or who is enforcing these bans. The theory seems to be that the game wasn't out in every territory yet, so it's like, oh, you're sharing leaked information, but like they weren't. The game was out in their territory. So that seems like a really ridiculous oversight, or if it's not an oversight, then it's Nintendo being way too aggressive about this stuff, which is never a good look. The idea that you legally obtain a copy of the game, which is out in your region, and you can't stream it because it's not out everywhere else. Anyway, I just really hope that was a mistake, because that's pretty gross. Speaking of Nintendo doing things that are disappointing, there's a big Smash tourney called The Big House, they've been doing a tourney for quite a number of years now, and obviously this year their in-person tournament was canceled, and so they rescheduled it as an online event. Problem is, they wanted to play Melee because obviously that's a really big thing in Smash, but they had to emulate the games and use what is it called? Slippy. That is the program that they use, the netcode they use to play Melee online with each other, thus enabling the tournament. And because they're using emulation and all that stuff in the way that Nintendo didn't intend, Nintendo stepped in and canceled the tournament. And it is, as with many of these things, it's like, yeah, Nintendo is probably legally in the right. I understand they don't like that kind of stuff. At the same time, you have this dedicated fan base. These fans are so dedicated, and they're not just focusing on Melee, there's Ultimate in there too. There's room for both in the community. And I mean, you know how it is by this point. Like, it's just not a good look for Nintendo. Like, you can work with the community. I know, like, they are in the right legally by shutting this down, but at the same time, like, they're allowed to make exceptions. They're allowed to work with the community. They could technically sanction this one event. We don't generally like the modding scene and all that stuff, but it's because of this. specific scenario. It's a pandemic. They had to cancel the in-person one. They're doing an online one. You can't make one singular exception this one time because people literally can't get together. It's just disappointing. Nintendo's got to protect their copyright and all that stuff, but at the same time, they are able to make any decision that they want that they feel will help them out and make them seem more good in the eyes of their fans. People love Nintendo games so much, they want to keep playing them in tournaments even all these years later, and Nintendo is like, nuh-uh. So, I don't know. It's a really big thing. I could go on about it, so I should probably just move on. In somewhat similar news, Nintendo is suing one Holojamz, very sorry if I butchered that, for selling tools on Amazon that allow people to hack their Switches. And, once again, yeah, I don't know why people are still selling these things when it's a very, very good chance Nintendo is just gonna sue you and take a bunch of money from you. As always, I know there are many legal applications for these kinds of things, but at the same time, we can't be surprised when Nintendo tries to shut them down because they can indeed be used for piracy. And speaking of which, Nintendo claims that piracy is a serious, worsening international problem. I don't know if I'd go that far. I mean, I don't know how much of an actual percentage of people are pirating games. It's something that I see so rarely. I've never met anybody who's ever done it. I know there are people who do it, and I don't like when people just straight up pirate the games, but at the same time, is it that serious? I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe they know more about it than I do, but, serious. I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe. Maybe they know more about it than I do, but they do seem to like to go a little bit overboard with their use of the heavy hand of the law, as it were. I don't know. I mean, like they have shot themselves in the foot in the past because they were so scared of piracy, and it wasn't even a problem, and it wasn't a problem for other companies, and yeah. Anyway, that's another whole topic. Those were the big conversation starters. I'll try to move through a little bit more quickly now. The new update has hit the Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection, specifically Super Mario Sunshine. A while back, I reported that they were going to introduce an update that allowed inverted camera controls. that has gone live, but it has also brought full GameCube controller support, which is very, very cool. You can play Sunshine in its in the original way with the analog triggers. That's neat. They've also removed the debug cubes that some players were seeing in levels, so that's also nice, I guess. I recently reported that Nintendo was poised to become the market leader in China, and it seems that we have more figures here about how the market is growing really, really rapidly in Asia. Perhaps most interestingly, a significant amount of that growth is thanks to Ring Fit Adventure. What do you know? Ring Fit Adventure does it again. It is actually pushing Switch consoles in Asia, and that's amazing. Nintendo recently revealed that more Lego Mario stuff is coming, more just character packs and sets and all this different stuff. I don't know how well Lego Mario is doing. I don't know if this is a result of it selling really well or if this was stuff they always had in the pipeline. But there you go. There's just a whole lot more Lego Mario stuff to buy now. Yet another Joy-Con drift-related lawsuit is being filed against Nintendo. This one doesn't really have a lot of info of the specifics, but it's all the same stuff we've heard before. The controllers are messed up, they keep messing up, Nintendo is not doing enough to fix the issue. So there's another one, throw that one on the pile. So more Mario-themed merchandise continues to come in celebration of the 35th anniversary and, let's admit, also in celebration of Mario being relevant again. I think Nintendo is really just enjoying the Switch's success and how, like, Mario's a household name again. So Puma's got a whole bunch of different shoes, even, like, ones from, like, the 3D All-Stars collection. You got, like, a Galaxy one in there. It's pretty cool. And then Champ from, like, the 3D All-Stars collection. You got, like, a Galaxy one in there. It's pretty cool. And then Champion, that clothes company line, whatever. They got a whole bunch of Mario clothes coming, including a pair of overalls. That's, they're coming back. Mario's bringing back the overalls. Nintendo is creating more Switch ads featuring celebrities, this time Brie Larson, who is a person who I recognize as being a popular actress, and someone, Aquafina, which I do not recognize, I'm sorry. So it seems that leading into the holidays, Nintendo is continuing to advertise the Switch very, very heavily, which is, of course, not surprising. So you know the Switch's HD Rumble, it turns out that that was done by a company called Immersion, and they are the same company that provided the same basic technology for the PlayStation 5's controller. PS5 controller features some pretty, from what I've heard, some pretty impressive haptic feedback, which is cool. It just seems like the next step up above HD Rumble. And I thought that was pretty interesting. I'm pretty interested to try it out one of these days. A very big update is coming to Pokemon Go. It's going to introduce Generation 6 Pokemon, which is pretty big. Upping the level cap, introducing seasons, which I think is a pretty cool idea. A different Pokemon caught in different seasons. And, you know, some other stuff too. Pokemon Go update train do not seem to be slowing down. So following recent news about a first edition Charizard selling for a whole bunch of money, it seems that recently a box of first edition, like sealed first edition base set Pokemon cards just sold for $360,000. Holy Toledo. I don't know if they're gonna keep it sealed or crack it open and try to find a Charizard. I'd probably keep it sealed. I'd keep it sealed. I wouldn't keep it sealed, I'd sell it. If we're being realistic here, I would not own that box. I would sell it and have the money, but that's just me. So we got a whole bunch of Animal Crossing related news here. I am not always a super duper smart man, and last week I looked at the bug and fishes update, and I'm like, is that the whole update? That doesn't make a lot of sense. Yeah, no, this is the real update. This is the real fall update here. So we got Turkey Day, we got Toy Day, you know, Thanksgiving and Christmas respectively. New reactions and hairstyles coming in. I would say probably the most exciting update is a dramatic update to your home storage limit, so that's very cool. I've heard some people speculate that the increase in storage is to help us prepare for another big update, you know, some of the stuff related to data mining and stuff. I don't know if that's true or if it's just for convenience, but either way, it is pretty neato. You can now visit random islands in Dreams, which is cool because I've heard a lot of people wishing for that feature. The update also brings a slight change to how time travel works. Now people will not be able to travel ahead to a holiday until that holiday has happened in real life. I thought that's how it was originally, but it could be that they were able to travel forward to it as long as they got the update itself. But now you won't be able to. They won't be, I don't know, activated or something. However, people will be able to travel back to a holiday that they missed. So time travelers will still be able to, enjoy the holiday if they weren't able to do it on the day. So I always think it's really interesting in any kind of like new-ish industry. Like the video game industry is still relatively new. Whenever just something new kind of emerges on a platform or a game or something that people didn't exactly quite expect. It is possible that Nintendo did not anticipate so many companies would end up using Animal Crossing for advertising purposes, so Nintendo has kind of been forced to come up with a whole set of guidelines for companies and organizations to use Animal Crossing, which I just think it's just really interesting. It's something they might not have even considered before, and they're like, wow, this is a thing. So really interesting. It's something they might not have even considered before, and they're like, wow, this is a thing. So we kind of just have to come up with guidelines for it. A lot of it is like the usual stuff you would expect, no hate stuff or whatever. But it also does say no political stuff, which I think is interesting because we've seen a lot of political stuff in Animal Crossing, with the whole presidential the thing where they make a person the president. Election. It's election. I'm a grown up. I know what I'm talking about. So anyway, yeah, I do think that's a little bit interesting. Moving forward, they're like, yeah, we don't really want that anymore though, and I can't say I blame them. Simple as that. I really just can't say I blame them. They just don't want to touch it, They're just like, their hands are up. They're like, nah, I just want to keep away from there. Even more Animal Crossing news. Animal Crossing has been nominated for Best Game at the Game Awards this year, which is pretty cool. I know I got a lot of heat for this. It was weird on Twitter for saying, I think Animal Crossing and Last of Us Part 2 are going to be the two that are going to be fighting for Best Game. However, Animal Crossing is also nominated for Family Game, so it's possible that they will give Best Game to something else, and then they try to like hand out awards to different companies, so everybody kind of gets something. So maybe Animal Crossing will get Best Family, Last of Us or something will get Best, between Director and Best Game. Anyway, I don't want to talk about the whole Game Awards thing right now. Actual point is, it's cool that it's cool whenever a Nintendo game gets nominated for Best Game overall, and Animal Crossing was a really big deal at a really important time, and I think that means it's got a pretty good chance of winning. But that's not me saying I don't think any of these other ones deserve to win. I'm just saying what's most likely. There are a lot of good games up for Best Game this year. Saying what I think will win is not me saying what I think deserves to win. It's just what I think will win. Anyway, whole thing. Final piece of Animal Crossing related news. Pocket Camp is getting an update, a little AR feature, where you can make little pictures with the AR, so that's kind of cute, I guess. Then we got some third-party news. A while back, there was a really giant leak from Capcom servers. I guess it's more of a hack, not even a leak. Their servers were hacked, and they lost a whole bunch of information, allegedly a terabyte of info. Technically, some of this might not be true. Some of these might be plans that have changed, or maybe even projects that have been canceled. I'm not going to spoil any here, just because, I don't know, this whole thing where, people hack into servers and then all the publications, we all just kind of reward them by giving them, I don't know, we've talked about this before. It's hard because it's you don't want to not report on something if it is news, but you don't like to reward them for it with the attention. I don't know, so that's what I'm just going to say. If you want to go and see what very well might be Capcom's plans for the next few years, which is including a lot of unannounced titles, then you can go look it up. I will mention one just because there's literally no clue about what it even is. Something called Project Guillotine for the Switch, and that's kind of fun. I assume that's a Switch exclusive thing. Maybe not. Who knows? But I don't know. What's Project Guillotine? I don't know. For a moment, people were worried that Doom Eternal on the Switch was being canceled, but it turns out that only the physical edition is being canceled. It's going to be a digital-only game. It's one of those things where I know a lot of people are disappointed, but I can't really blame them. I don't know how many copies they can actually expect to sell on the Switch. I don't know how well the original sold, and also it's going to be such a big game. I can't blame them for not wanting to try to cram it onto a little cartridge and have to pay a bunch of money for each cartridge, and that's the whole problem with cartridges. So it's digital only. Not super surprising. And finally, Phil Spencer once more reassured everyone that they were not interested in removing Bethesda games from other platforms, because Xbox, they bought Bethesda, and so everyone's wondering what that's going to mean. And doubling down, saying, no, it's not about removing stuff from other platforms. They just want to focus more on making the best experience on Xbox. That could just mean because Xbox Series X is the most powerful, and it could also mean maybe exclusive DLC or features or something in the future. And technically this is not removing the idea of future exclusives. That's not taking them off the table. He's not necessarily saying that. For all we know, this could be okay, everything in the pipeline is going to release as expected. But going forward, I would not be surprised if they did end up not pulling from other platforms, but not releasing future games on other platforms, because why would you spend billions of dollars on acquiring something if you're not eventually at least going to be able to have their games as exclusives on your console? But that is one of those things we will just have to wait and see how it turns out. That is it for the news for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. Once again, I want to remind you that I love you and you are a wonderful and just wonderful, awesome person. And I hope that you have a day that is wondrous and beautiful as you are yourself. Take it easy.